We find ourselves this morning on a rainy June morning in central Georgia, just above Atlanta and outside of Cartersville, Georgia. And we find ourselves at the Etowah Tumbling Mounds. Etowah is a river that's nearby, and the mounds are ceremonial burial grounds and ceremonial territory for the southeastern Indians, also known as the Mississippi Indians. And we find this sign next to the road about the mounds. Let me take you over to the mounds. Unfortunately, I am not allowed to go in there because of religious and superstitious reasons. These are sacred grounds, and for people to tromp all over them and dig them up and study them, it's like digging up your great-grandmother just to see what she looked like after 200 years. But this is after thousands of years. But this sign will tell you that the mounds were discovered and protected by tumbling, and they were called tumbling mines for years, and finally correctly named after the Indian tribes that were here next to the Etowah River. Let me show you the entrance and tell you a little bit more about it. Now, coming down the road and finding the visitor center, there's an absolutely enormous visitor center, and you can walk through here, it seems like forever, to the mounds and the ceremonial grounds. And of course today we happen to hit the only day that it's not open, but it doesn't matter because I'm not allowed in here anyway. And like I was saying, there's an absolutely enormous visitor center and a beautiful entranceway. But historically, they let the Smithsonian in ages ago to excavate mound number C. And what they found here, for you people studying Native America, was totally unbelievable. The artifacts dated back not a couple of hundred years, but 30,000 years. And they found that 30,000 years ago or so, give or take 1,000 years, the people came over from the Great Ice Bridge up above Alaska from Europe and moved in to Central and Southern America and all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. They were called the Mississippian Indians, and about 10,000 years ago they were driven or migrated north, and I am thinking, it's just my opinion now, that the mounds and the ceremonial grounds look very Mayan. And when you study the Mayan culture disappearing from Central America without a trace, these people were driven up from Mississippi area and Southern America into the southeastern, what's called the southeastern Indians. Of course, eastern to us would be in the Atlantic Ocean, but not to these people. So they were driven up here and found Utopia, where there was great hunting, great lands, plenty of things to do, plenty of places to raise their families safely. Now they stayed here for really thousands of years until the Europeans came, and within 5 decades totally had destroyed it all. Because primarily, bringing metals and alcohol and paint, and originally the paints, according to what I have heard from other places and historians, because the paints were lead-based, the Indians putting it against their skin drove them crazy. Also, the major contributor was the disease that was brought by the settlers, and we're talking about every disease known in Europe brought to this country with the Indians with no immunity to them, and they claim that 4 out of 5 natives after the Europeans showed up had perished from disease alone, to say nothing about gunpowder and paint and alcohol and everything else. But if you're studying Native America in any way, you need to come to central Georgia to the Etowah Mounds and Etowah River. And this doesn't take you back 1,000 or 2,000 or even at the birth of Christ. We're talking thousands of years before Christ. So we are talking up to 30,000 years of heritage.